I will be talking about the leaderboard system and what I think about it, what potential issues or flaws I see with it, and talk about transparency or the lack of transparency, and talk about possible alternatives to the current system. So, we have cosmic leaderboards for, I think, almost a year now. I might be wrong. It is not a whole year, but sometime. Um, and so let's make this rather brief, because there is already pages upon pages upon pages on the forum, and many pages are from me. So this video is just to summarize what I think about it. So everyone agrees by now that the system is a play more system, which means that you have an advantage the more you play. Or to rephrase this, you can cancel out a worse win rate by playing more. Which in itself I don't like. Other systems don't have that. But I mean, if it was just that and it wouldn't be like that important, the play more aspect, I would be fine with it. Some play more, I can live with it. I could also live with some form of decay. Like when you don't play, you lose ranks. I could also live with that. The way I see it, playing more is just too important. Meaning that you need to play like almost 100 games at least to compete for top 64. This season I played 92 matches, but that's not all. So it is at least 10 more, I would say, that didn't get tracked. So it's around 100, which is probably the least you can play and make top 64 around. Since my win rate is 77% for the season, which I think is really high. Others might disagree, but when I look at other leaderboards, I kind of know that 77% is a very high win rate. So play more I don't like, because I don't like that it's that important. Then I feel like that it's very important when you play. Like if you don't play early in the season, especially week 1, best case day 1, day 2 you make cosmic, then you are at a heavy disadvantage. Like in October 2016 season 2, I didn't play at all, and when I reached cosmic it was at the end of October, and then I was cosmic 503. My win rate to cosmic probably wasn't that bad. I had 64% this season, which again isn't that bad, but that's on cosmic, and the games to cosmic are not showing, obviously. So I can't judge the seeding into cosmic. I don't know how it operates. I just don't know. So let's leave that by the side. But when you are reaching cosmic late, you will get seated far behind. And then you just have to play much more games, many more games. If you look at the gaps here, I win 7-3, 483, 494, because loss 477, 490, 472. So around 20 ranks. Here it is 26. Which, I mean, 20 ranks is good. I guess that's okay. But then I hit, like, for some reason, and I will talk about this, 311, 321, 321. I'm not sure how this is listed here. So it was one win either way, which 321, 321, 322. So I had one win at least, and I stayed at the rank. But I lost before and after. I see it is starting, by the way. But I will continue this. So it will be a brief video at least. Regarding the gaps, that's just something I don't understand, and this might be a bug as well. It very well might be a bug. So this season I played early on. That's match 9. So there, like I said, the first week I didn't track because it didn't work for some reason. Then I didn't play that much, I guess. Although I did play a bit. Like I kept around top 20, match 27. That's good. I can't complain too much about that, but that's only because I played early on. And then April 2nd, April 14th, 18th, 22. Then I didn't play much here. Then this was a big gap. Between March 30th and April 2nd. Ah, that was the fix. I see. Yeah, the fix. So there was this fix which I advocated for, which hurt me. But that's just as a side note. And then I dropped further from 54 because of not playing 14th, 18th, 22, 24th, 80. And then I picked up again, played. And that's the frustrating part. 80, 79, 80, 80, 80, 77, 79, 79, 77, 77, 77. And I win here. Yeah. 78, 78, 81. Okay, I lost. So all those games where I won more than I lost, and I lost one rank within one day. I lost one rank and playing like 8-5 or something. Probably around that. 81, 81, 81, 80. 4 games in a row winning. I mean, that just feels bad to just use those words. And I don't get it. I don't get it because, look here. 68, 67, 66, 65, 60! 5 ranks! What's happening? 62, 61, 59, 55, 51, 54, 57, 58, 53, 48, 54, 47. So apparently the gaps, the point gaps on those ranks are what's the word? Aren't as big as they are between 70 and 80, which I have just a hard time to explain. It seems like the more the people close to each other play, the closer they come together. Like the more the people play, the more ties you will see, which I just don't understand. When I compare this with other leaderboards in any other game, like for example Hearthstone, the higher you go on the leaderboards, it will become harder and harder to actually rank up. When you are at legendary rank 1000 and you win a game, you will rank up 200 games, just 200 ranks, just to say a number. But when you are on rank 60 and you win, you will rank up, I don't know, 5 or 10 ranks, just to name a number again. The number will be, it will be much harder to rank up. But this season, and I had similar observations in past seasons, it's just very strange. Like here, I move up and down far more the higher I go, which I just don't understand. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I don't get it. Which we come to the point about transparency. Let me just check the time. 5 minutes. I will have 10 minutes to build my pool, I guess. That's enough. I don't understand why we have no transparency. I would like to see everyone's rating. That alone would be enough for me, because then I can make all kinds of conclusions about the rating. When I see everyone's rating and how it changes from game to game and where I stand with my rating, that's actually enough. Would be nice to see win rates and games played as well, but it would be enough for the ratings, for the point. There's some point system behind the leaderboard system, obviously. It would be fine if I just saw that. Yeah. So why don't we have transparency? I don't know. I really don't. The only reason I heard on the forum debates is because if you show transparency, like just when you show the rating for everybody, the system will be exploitable. Which I don't understand why that should be the case. And the system that can be exploited, where you can game the system, where there's some bug or something you can exploit, then the system is bad. And just concealing it by not showing any transparency is not the way to go. Because eventually some people will figure out the loopholes. Yeah, and I don't even see why it should be that much more exploitable just by showing ratings. You can see a lot, but you can't really exploit because of seeing ratings, I don't think. That's the way I see it. So that much about transparency. So we talked about playing much, playing when, and it shouldn't be important when I play my 100 or 200 games in a season, I feel like, but it is. It is very important to play early. Much. Early and much. And the gaps, the weird gaps, like, which I just don't understand. And the intransparency. So, last thing I want to do, I want to talk about alternatives. And this is Farrier ladder ranking. This is also a leaderboard. And they use ELO. Or ELO. It's actually one word. Which actually Hex China also uses. Perfect World. And many other games use ELO. And like Infinity Wars is also another card game that uses ELO and displays ELO. And in Hex, I just don't know. It could be ELO with a very low K rating, but hey, maybe, I don't know. Which wouldn't help. Like ELO with when no one reaches their peak rating doesn't help. Like when the K value is so low that no one reaches his or her peak rating, and the more you play, you always will get more ELO rating. That's not good. But it might be what's going on. Might explain some things. So let's look at Faria. Many people played many games. So we have here one exception. One guy is underwater. He has 43.38%. How come he is still number 5? Maybe he played more. That's the reason. Actually, no. ELO itself doesn't reward play more, but ELO always gives the chance to make good on past bad experiences, bad results. Like if you lose 1,000 games or have 1,000 games with like a win rate of 30%, and then you have 200 games with a win rate of 80%, you will level up on your ELO rating, obviously. But you are very down with your ELO, so it will take some time. You will have to play a lot of games and play good when you played bad earlier. But it's possible. It's possible. So there is no real reason to stop playing. As long as you improve, you should keep playing in an ELO system. If you become worse, then you probably should stop playing. But then you can also introduce some form of decay. So I don't accept that reason. if you don't want to have players sit on their elo rating, then introduce some form of decay. So that about that. Like if you see the other people here around 50 to 60, 55, 66, 50, yeah. And then it depends who you play against, obviously. And I don't know if it really depends on who you play against in the current system. I have mixed observations. Like, my guess would be that it doesn't really matter who you play against. Like, I played against number 13 on the leaderboard, and I ranked up 1 rank, and I played against a gold player, and I ranked up 1 rank as well, and that was back to back. So it was at the same range at ranks, which I don't know. What ELO allows, though, is something like this. This guy played 70, 80, 87 games with 79, so similar to me, but he's 22nd. I argue that around 80 games is already enough to say that someone probably has a high win rate. Like, statistically, it's more reliable to play 1000 games than 100 games, obviously. But the question you have to ask, the 80% win rate, is it more likely that it's just a lucky streak, or is it more likely that the player actually is good? Like his true win rate. With which confidence can you say that this true win rate is within a 5% margin of error of his achieved win rate? So let's say, I would argue that with 80 games, you have a 95% likelihood that he is within 5% of his 79% win rate. Yeah, that's statistics. So I have only a basic understanding of statistics, but I think that's correct. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's about confidence intervals and margin of errors, I feel like, yeah. And there's diminishing returns with each additional game. Like if I play 11 games instead of 10, it makes a huge difference in terms of reliability and significance. But when I play 500 games instead of 499, it makes just a very, 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 very small difference in terms of statistics. So yeah, I would like to see such a system here. So another guy, just 54 games, but 94% likelihood, 94% win rate. So his actual win rate might be, let's say it's just 70%. His actual true win rate. But even with 70%, he's one of the best players here. So why not? Yeah. And that would, I mean, we are talking 24% margin of error. Like that's already very unlikely that his true win rate is that different. It might be somewhat different, yeah. It might be just 80%. Ooh. That being said, you only have like 3 or 4, 5 players in the top 100, I feel like, around, yeah, that have played less than 100 games. So we're not talking about many people that would be concerned about this. But I feel like they deserve to be on the spots they are. Yeah. And I'm finished. Because I need to build my deck. And I will quit my stream. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Goodbye.